Glow up. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this term. In this series, I'll be giving you the ultimate step-by-step guide to have a drastic and easy academic glow up. This video is part 4 and I'll be sharing my best tips on how to have an academic glow up, be happy, be motivated, and things that you should always remember. If you have not yet watched part 1, 2, and 3 yet, I recommend watching them first. I will link the playlist up above. I highly urge you to follow along this series as it could completely change your academic career. Without further ado, let's begin the academic glow up journey. The first 9 will be my best tips to have an easy and drastic academic glow up. Number 1. Find balance. Everything is about balance. Do not overwork yourself and instead find the perfect balance. Life is not just about school, so balancing everything in your life is something you should definitely consider. Some things that you should try to balance are study or school, hobbies, your social life, sleep, mental health, social media or your phone, and extracurricular activities. Try to balance them and do not sacrifice one for the other if it's not necessary. 2. Be reasonable. This is similar to the previous, but do not overwork or overstudy. Make sure you are taking enough breaks when studying and don't forget to relax and have fun sometimes. Some things that you should try to do during these breaks when studying include eating, drinking water, exercising, and relaxing. You definitely don't have to always be studying. The third tip is be able to prioritize. Prioritize studying over social media when necessary, prioritize sleep over your phone, and make sure to know your priorities. On top of this, know what work or subject is more important or necessary, especially during exam season, and make sure to do all tasks in order of importance. Number 4. Be mindful of your dopamine intake. I talked about dopamine intake in depth in my part 1 video, but to summarize, if you partake in high dopamine activities such as going on your phone, social media, or TV, your brain can get used to it and addicted to it. This means it is going to be harder for you to do lower dopamine activities such as studying. To be mindful of your dopamine intake, try to continue doing the tips I mentioned in part 1 and try to replace a habit of going on your phone with something else. The next tip is to surround yourself with productive people. Have you ever walked in a classroom and sat next to either the teacher or someone that is extremely productive and found that you learnt so much better and you were really productive? On the flip side, have you sat next to a friend or someone talkative and found that you couldn't concentrate much during class? This is why you should try to sit near and study with productive people more often. As a bonus tip, also follow productivity or study-related influencers. I have an Instagram and TikTok accounts if you are looking for people to follow. I post more study and productive related content on there as well. 6. Experiment with study tips and methods. Unfortunately, there is no one perfect study method that works for everyone, and there isn't a way for me to tell you exactly what study method or what study tips will work perfectly for you. This is why it is extremely important to experiment with heaps and heaps of study tips and study methods to find some that work amazing for you. It took me a couple of years of experimenting and switching up how I study to find tips and methods that work for me. I'm still experimenting and still on the hunt for even better and more effective study tips and methods. Feel free to binge watch any of my study tip videos if you are looking for something to experiment with. I'll link it above. Number 7. Put your phone somewhere where you cannot see it. I cannot stress this enough. I'm sure both you and I have wasted way too much time procrastinating on our phones instead of studying. One key reason why we do this is because the phone is in sight. Try putting your phone somewhere where you cannot see it, like the other side of the room or even in another room. 8. Schedule everything. Every single weekend I make a schedule for all the things I need to do. It's highly important that you do this. This schedule can include anything as well, not just things related to studying. Make sure the schedule is reasonable and you think about how important each task is and prioritize. I talked more in depth on how to create a schedule in my part 3 video, so I will link that up above. The next tip is to use a to-do list. A to-do list is my best friend when it comes to studying. Writing down everything you need to do on a to-do list makes it so much easier to get it done, and you will never forget to do anything. I find it also makes me a lot more productive. If you don't use a to-do list normally, try it out. I promise it helps. The next 3 tips will be on how to be motivated. Number 1. Write down goals and imagine what it would feel like to accomplish them. A great thing to do when you feel unmotivated or unproductive is to write down your goals or go back to wherever you have written your goals and just imagine what it would feel like to accomplish them. Really think and feel what it would be like to accomplish that goal or to get the results you want. I'm not sure why, but whenever I do this, I instantly feel much more motivated and I feel like studying or doing whatever I need to do in order to complete the goal. The next tip is to make a reward or deal with yourself or someone else. This deal can range from achieving your results to even completing a small task. It doesn't matter how big or how small the reward is, just as long as it motivates you to get the work done. I like to reward studying with time on my phone. 3. Have a positive mindset towards studying. If you have a negative connotation towards studying, it is going to be extremely difficult to become motivated towards studying. Try to release negative thoughts or feelings towards studying and replace them with neutral or positive thoughts. Trust me, you will become much more motivated and you will get so much more work done quicker and easier. The next 3 will be general tips to be happy. Number 1. Don't be your own enemy. This is such a big one, especially for me. I find that when you become really focused on trying to improve your grades, you can become extremely self-critical and mean to yourself. Please know that it is totally okay to make mistakes, be unproductive or not perfect. Try to let go of any unnecessary negativity and stress and replace with more positivity, such as being proud of your achievements, even the small ones. Basically, try to be kind to yourself. The next tip is don't sacrifice hobbies you love for good grades. A huge misconception is that having good grades means spending all your time studying and giving up on all your hobbies. But you most definitely do not have to drop your hobbies. It is actually super important to have a hobby or something that makes you happy. 3. Surround yourself with positive people. This is similar to what I said earlier about surrounding yourself with productive people. If you find it hard to be or stay happy and positive, try surrounding yourself with people who radiate positivity. Being around upbeat and happy people tends to bring your mood up. On the flip side, if there are people who are constantly negative, try avoiding them for a little while. Surrounding yourself with positive people is pretty easy to do, but the benefits are huge. Last 3 will be things to always remember. Number 1. You do not have to be productive every day. Having productive days is absolutely amazing, but you most definitely don't have to be productive every single day. I am definitely not productive every single day, and I still do procrastinate sometimes. Of course, this is not every day, but try to be reasonable, allow yourself breaks, and set times that you want to be productive. Remember, say want to be productive rather than have to be productive. It'll be easier to do. 2. Ultimately, you are going to have to change your actions, habits, and mindset in order to have an academic glow up or change your grades. Think about it. Your bad actions or a lack of actions, for example, not studying, not using the right study method, and bad habits and mindset, for example, procrastinating, phone and dopamine addiction, are causing you to get bad grades. So you want to change those bad grades into good grades. But in order for you to do that, you will need to change your actions, habits, and mindset into better ones. To do this, write down all of your quote-unquote bad actions, habits, and mindset that you want to change. And right next to them, the desired actions, habits, and mindsets that you want to replace it with. Remember, instead of eliminating, try replacing. It is a lot easier to do. Number 3. No one is perfect. I know that this is obvious, but I really feel like this is something that we all need to be reminded of sometimes. Funnily enough, when writing this, I actually made a mistake too. See, no one is perfect. I hope that you enjoyed and this helped you in your academic glow up. If you need anything from me, whether that may be support, motivation, or questions, please do not hesitate to comment down below and I will try to respond to you all. If you are interested in this series, I would appreciate it if you subscribed and gave this video a thumbs up. I really hope that this series will help anyone achieve their goals. All my social medias will be linked below in case you want to direct message me or see more content from me. If you are going through this academic glow up journey, make sure to comment down below where you are, what your goals are, so I can hopefully motivate you. Bye guys, good luck with your academic glow up.